In 2018, banks need to prepare for three things in the data privacy and security area. First is the international aspects of privacy, the European Union General Data Protection Regulation being the prime example, taking effect in 2018. The second is the continuing threat of cyber attacks, including the manipulation of information and the breach of information. The third is the uptake of artificial intelligence and data strategies and the legal and regulatory implications of that. These developments in 2018 will affect banks in at least the following ways. First, the proliferation of data privacy compliance obligations means more resources needed to pay attention to those, particularly to document compliance and to make sure that certain steps are being followed in compliance with the GDPR, new regimes in Asia, and so forth. Another facet to keep in mind is the need to be ready. The best practices and industry practices for being prepared to deal with a cyber attack or a cyber breach are evolving every year. And what is useful and good to do in 2018 is going to be different from what it was in 2017, 2016. And finally, the impact on banks of this evolving regulatory regime is really to keep a look ahead, to not be surprised by what a particular data strategy might be in a part of your organization, and making sure that there's a view ahead of the consequences of it. The legal teams in banks this year in these areas need to be mindful of a few elements. First is the ongoing challenge of balancing domestic or local compliance with international or global operations. What can we do to be more efficient? How can we take common aspects of data privacy laws or even the emerging cybersecurity regulations in New York and in Europe and make sense of it in an international context? That is one. The second is in keeping a focus on the role of a lawyer in the cybersecurity context. This is not just a technology issue. There is a huge role for lawyers to counsel in advance of and in the event of a cybersecurity incident. Knowing that role and preparing for it will be essential in 2018.